It was a moving read, and perhaps more moving was the narration, real story behind it, by the character who inspired it.
The story she's talking about is an account that happened in front of my office last year in Ikoyi. It was 4:30, 5 o'clock. My son had been picked from school and I was about to go home. And I heard altercation outside and I was wondering what's going on. And they said schoolboys and girls, they've ended class. But as they've ended class, they normally tear their clothes. And I thought, okay. We entered the car. Suffice to say that there was a girl on the floor. It was an unfair fight. That's why I decided to step in. I'm not the bravest of persons. Look at how I look. I'm not, definitely. But that day I felt, why would a girl be on the floor? A guy is on top of her and every other person is cheering. Something is not right. So I came out of my car, crossed, and I realized that he had his shorts down and was pressing into the girl. And they were cheering and people were recording. And I started shouting at both the security and bystanders because they were straplings, they're young boys. And after that shouting, I turned and there was another girl. Then I noticed there were boys behind and one girl fell. And the guy, as she struggled to get up, he picked her legs. She dropped back again. When she struggled to get up, he gave her a headbutt. Another person held her from the back. And he took out a scissors. He tore her skirt from the back. And that was what one was pushing from the back and one from the front. It was not 6 o'clock, it was 5:30. And of course, we started to shout. They didn't run away. They just backed up and they started cheering, "Madam, you will go home. They are with us here."
Then it was time to unveil the book. Bisi Adeleye-Fayemi is the wife of the former governor of Ekiti State and Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Adeleye-Fayemi. He was happy to share a bit of behind-the-scenes happenings.
Without question, I'm very proud of my wife. People kept referring to minister. Let me say that I'm not here as a minister, I'm here as a house husband and a feminist friend and critique of my wife's work. I get to see these articles before anyone does, even on the Above Whispers online platform, because she sends it out to me on Sunday evening to review and comment on before she then posts it out there to the wider public.
At the end of it all, there seemed to be a consensus that the book is worth exploring, and the author has earned the right to speak on the issues in her new book.
I think that it's a book worth having. There's everything about the child, everything about current events today, the rape of the students at school, and a lot of issues that we need to ponder on and press those in charge to alleviate for us. So indeed, it's worth coming. Certainly, it's a book that you need to have in your library. Most certainly, it's a book that you need to read and understand and spread the word.
It's truly a book reading. I was wondering when I was invited to a book reading, I wasn't sure which format it was going to take. When I got here, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought maybe I would spend an hour, but I've spent about almost 2.5 hours, and it's been worth every minute. It's been extremely well presented, differently, but the content of the book itself has been presented by actresses and different women from all walks of life, and the way the things that we've listened to from the book, they're amazing.
When I got here and I listened to the readings, I thought the content is something happening in another world, in particular in another country. I didn't know that things have degenerated amongst youths and morals to the extent of what was being read. I was shocked. And then believed that We need a lot of education. The public must know what is happening.
The book, I feel, is a must-read. It really captures the thoughts of a dynamic, incredibly accomplished leading light in Africa, who happens to be a Nigerian woman and wife of a former governor and a current minister. But this is a woman who is of international credentials in the women's rights, global rights movement, and who has worked in England, has worked in the EU, has worked with the United Nations, already still works with the United Nations. And she's now sharing a lot of our experience and our insights over decades of activism. So you can imagine, she talks about women's solidarity, she talks about the violations of the rights of girls and the need to protect those rights.
Mrs. Fayemi is a lady that I like. I admire her a lot. She's highly intelligent, hardworking, and she's done a lot.
There is no doubt that we need to start focusing more on issues affecting women and the girl child. Bisi Adeleye-Fayemi's loud whispers might just be a good starting point.